Hi guys, welcome back to A Voice in the Influence. It is your girl Tikeysh T Lemons, and I'm here with another episode of A Voice in the Influence. And this background is a little bit different because I am at home and I am on my bed, and I'm so excited to be able to record a video for you today. I actually had some free time, and I'm just excited to be in this space right now because normally I'm either traveling right now, getting off of work and going to pick up my daughter from school and her after school programs and things of that nature. But now I have extra time, so I am just super excited about that. And I just wanted to get on here to really just talk about 5 reasons why you may be feeling misunderstood. And the reason why I wanted to shed light on that is because I actually, am in a season where I feel misunderstood like a lot of times, a lot of different times in a lot of different situations and with a lot of different people. And I had to realize that when you are growing and you are elevating and you are transforming your life, which means that you're changing the way you think, you're changing your atmosphere, you're changing who you are. You may even be, changing your physique. You may be changing your eating habits. Anytime you make change in your life, sometimes that puts you at the mercy of being misunderstood. And when you are misunderstood by people that you love and people that you are attached to, it can be, really, really hurtful. It can really be uncomfortable. And oftentimes I've seen a lot of different people when they're going through this process of changing and elevating that they will abort the mission because of being misunderstood, because the feeling of change is so discomfortable. It's, and it's not what you're used to. It can make you go backwards versus to continue on the process and continue to move forward in the direction that God has ordained for you. And so let's just jump right into it. So one of the first keys that I believe is a result of feeling misunderstood is that I've already said it. You're growing. You've matured. You don't think the way you used to think. You don't act the way you used to act. You don't respond the way you used to respond. You probably don't dress the way you used to dress. You probably don't listen to the same music you used to listen to. You may not want to go to the same places you used to go to. You may not even want to have certain conversations anymore. And because of that, the people who you were around, they are starting to feel uncomfortable with your change. And because they're feeling uncomfortable with your change, it can provoke them to start to treat you a certain way. When they used to agree with everything that you said, and even if they wasn't agreeing, they would act as if they understood what you were saying. But now, since you're changing and they can see the change in you, now they're starting to say, no, I don't see it like that. Now they're starting to go back and forth with you. Now they're starting to, not like your pictures on social media. Now they're starting to not call you as much. You find yourself reaching out more than what they do, because you don't want people to say, oh, she's changed. Even though you matured, you're still trying to be around the same people that you were around before you matured. And the truth of the matter is that when you ask God to change your life, when you make a dedication to yourself, it is going to require for you to separate yourself from other people. We've all heard the saying that there's separation before there's elevation. And the truth of the matter is that it is very true, but we don't believe it. It doesn't become an actual reality to us until we start going through it. And then we start realizing, dang, that's really real. See, there's so many different sayings. There's so many different memes out there that people hear, there's separation before there's elevation. Don't nobody want to see you, do better than them. You know, I believe the saying goes, everybody want to see you do good, but don't nobody want to see you do better than them. And all of that stuff, you know, when you hear it, you be like, man, that's real. But when you actually start going through it, it's real, but it's painful. Because when you start to see that the people that you thought that was there for you is not really there for you, that they don't have your best interest at heart, that they don't want to really see you elevate, like, it can become so painful that you will either sacrifice your growth for the relationship, or you will let the relationship go for your growth. You have a choice to make. And that is the true test if you're going to reach the next level. Okay? So number one is you've matured. But once you get that test, it's going to prove whether you go to the next level or not. Because going to the next level requires separation before there's elevation. And whenever you're being elevated, you will be misunderstood. Trust me. All right. And number two is very, very personable for me. And it's very, very dear to my heart. Because I remember when I was like going through this, and I believe I'm still going through it. But you're being misunderstood because God has given you provision. Provision. Provision is he's giving you vision that requires for you to activate your faith. I mean, you see where you're going to be already, but it just has not manifest, right? That is what faith is. It's the substance of the things we hope for, but it's evidence. Evidence. Faith is evidence of the things that is not seen. But we know that faith without works is dead. So that means that we still have to act in order to receive, right? But you have provision, you have a word, you have seen it already. God has already put it in your spirit. So in your mind, in your spirit, it's already reality. But in other people's mind, in other people's spirit, it is not reality. It is not even, real. It's not a thing to them. They think you're crazy. Like you think this is about to pop off. You think it's about to go this way. Like, girl, you barely paying your rent. Girl, your car is like behind on 3 payments. Girl, do you even have a car? Girl, you living with your mama. Girl, and you talking about God is going, what? Yeah, they'll think you crazy. They'll think you crazy. But what they don't understand is that God knew you before he formed you in your mother's womb, and he has good plans for you. And when you start to operate out of love and out of grace, and you begin to be renewed by your mind, and you begin to take up your cross and bear it and follow God, things will change in your life. But normally it doesn't change overnight. So that means that is going to be a testing of your faith. It's going to require for you to walk things out. It's going to require for you to make certain moves, but you're going to have such a peace about it that it's going to give you a momentum. It's going to give you the grace. It's going to give you the staying power. It's going to give you the fuel to birth what you need to birth, because you have already know that you have gotten a word. You have gotten a glimpse of heaven, and you know that it's going to manifest, because God is not a God that he shall lie. But people around you do not know that. Okay. And when you are telling your dreams to people who are not of God, now everybody that say that they believe in God don't believe in God, okay? And that's just a reality, okay? Normally, the person who's chosen is around a bunch of people who's saying that they believe, but their life doesn't show that they're believing in God. And what I mean by that is there has to be a change. Whenever God comes into your life, there has to be changes that happens in your life. God is a game changer. He is not a man that he shall lie. God don't come in people's life for life to stay the same. If there is anything that a person is lacking or don't have or insufficient, is not of God, because God is a full God. God gives all things for those who love him. Okay? He is a God that a God that's so big that we can't even explain him to his fullest capacity. Okay? Because he doesn't reveal himself to us so fully like that. He reveals himself to us in glimpse, so we can continue to pursue him, so we can stay in communion with him, so we can stay with fellowship with other believers, so that our cup can run over, so that we can stay on fire for him. Okay. And it requires us to operate in faith. And so when we operate in faith, it looks crazy and misunderstanding to people who are not operating in faith. And so what you have to know is that that's how you may be perceived. You may be perceived as crazy. You may be perceived as like, this girl is living a illusion. Like, they will think that you live in a fairy tale because they don't see what's going to eventually happen. Okay. All right. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is you've graduated from college. You're the first to graduate from college in your family. Or let's say you took a course, or let's say you went to a seminar, or let's just say you periodly invested in yourself. Anytime you invest in yourself and you get new knowledge, what you have to understand is that changes your brain. Your brain begins to expand. The neurons and things that are in your brain begin to operate differently. Okay, because you have received new information. That new information signals different stimulants in your brain. Okay. And so your perception changes. The way you see life changes. And when your perception changes, then your reality changes. Okay. So anytime you receive any type of knowledge, and then when you apply the knowledge, that is wisdom. Wisdom is applied knowledge. So when you start operating from wisdom, because of the knowledge that you have indulged in, then you could be misunderstood because the people who you were around do not understand what you understand. Their perception about something is totally different than what you know because you have knowledge. And then not only do you know, but you're moving different. So that is called wisdom. And oftentimes when we come from certain groups and and God elevates us, we are not able to embrace the fact that we're on another level. And so what we do is we try to dummy ourselves down so that we can be accepted in the group that we elevated from. But that's not how it works. You have to have confidence in yourself to know that you've moved to another level, and you have to be able to embrace the love that you're going to receive from people who are doing better than you. See, people who are doing better than you and that are on another level with you, when they're trying to go to another level, like higher than the level that they're on, they welcome people in. They embrace you in because they want you to take over what they got going on. They want to pass the gem on because, see, wise people understand that it is enough out here for everybody. And you can never have enough if you keep everything to yourself. The only way to keep the money and to keep things going and revolving around is to spread it. To spread it. Only people who are stuck wants to keep everything to themselves. So number 3 is that you have elevated, you have gotten new knowledge. And so the way you perceive things is totally different from the people that you used to be around. So, hey, you might be being misunderstood. Number 4, you're operating from self-love. You love yourself, okay? And because you love yourself, you're not going to tolerate someone disrespecting you. You're not going to put yourself in a position where you have to betray yourself. Okay, you feel some type of way. You feel like a person has said something to you disrespectful. Now, you may leave the situation, but eventually you're going to address it to the person and you're going to let the person know, hey, when you did that, that hurt me. You know why? Because you're operating with self-love. When you love yourself, you protect yourself and you're able to convey how you feel to other people because you're not going to allow people to continue to be around you, treating you a certain way when you treat yourself good. When you love yourself and you treat yourself good, you're not going to allow other people to treat you wrong. And so because of that, you may be misunderstood because when you are pleased by yourself and by love that is within you, things outside of you is not your pleasure. You don't get love and gratification from things that are outside of you. That's just like a bonus. You are whole already from everything that is within you. There is a proverb that says that my cup runneth over. What that means is that my cup is already full. Everything that's in the cup is for me, and everything that's outside of the cup is the overflow that I give to other people. So I'm already whole. You can't take anything away from me. Only how you can take something away from me is if I allow my cup to decrease. If I allow myself not to love myself. Okay? So when you are operating from self-love, you can feel misunderstood because people don't understand why they can't treat you a certain way, why they can't behave a certain way in your presence. Okay? It's very, very important that you understand that, because oftentimes people will try to act any way in your life, and a lot of people will allow it to go on just because they feel like, well, I can't control that person, I can't control that person. No, you can't control them, but you can control who's in your life. How can you control who's what people do in your life? By not being around those type of people who doesn't respect you and don't respect themselves. You can just exit left. That's it. Exit left. Because you have too much to lose. When you've worked on yourself so much, do you really have the energy to be angry, to argue with someone? Do you really have the energy to allow someone to physically call you out your name? Verbally call you out your name, just to disrespect you or even put their hands on you? No, you love yourself too much for that. You're not going to allow that, right? And because of that, you could be misunderstood. And lastly, but not least, and this one is my favorite, you enjoy being single. If you're single, or alone if you're married, sometimes you may be alone, like when your spouse is out and, you enjoy your me time. You enjoy your me time. That can be seen as misunderstood. A lot of people could say, girl, you still single? How old is you? You in your 30s and you ain't got no man? I don't understand that. But like number 4, when you're operating from self-love, the love comes from within you. You may desire a husband, but you're so whole that you can wait until God sends you someone, because you don't need another person to validate who you are. You're already secure with God. So that makes you whole. And that's important even when you're in a marriage, because there's going to be times when you don't understand your husband. There's going to be time when your husband don't understand you. There's going to be times when y'all don't like each other. But the love that you have, the wholeness that you have with God, will ultimately make it right with your spouse, because you guys have committed to one another. You have a covenant with one another. You guys answer to God. And when you fear God, you're going to stay in alignment with what God wants for you in your marriage. Okay. But ultimately, you have to be a whole person, because if you're not a whole person, then you may blame your spouse for being human. You may blame your spouse for something that you've actually done on your own. You may have, done something that has caused you to feel irritable. But because your spouse didn't put the toilet seat down, you flashing on him. But really, you're mad at yourself because you didn't get your assignment done before you went to bed last night. You see what I'm saying? But when you're a whole person, you'll be able to say, you know what? I'm wrong. Because God will show you that. He'll show you that in your me time with him. Like, you was just totally wrong for the way you responded to your husband. Like, you'll feel convicted. When you are in alignment with God and you have a relationship with God, God will check you so quickly. And you will already know, like, that's not good. Let me go apologize. Let me go get back in order. Why? Because you like peace. Peace. You like peace. God is giving you a peace that surpasses your own understanding. And when anytime you feel like that peace has been tainted or something going on with that peace, you got to get in alignment with God. You got to get in worship. You got to get in prayer. You got to listen to a word. You got to do something, because you need that peace back. Okay. So number 5 is what? You enjoy being single, or you enjoy spending alone time with yourself, or being alone. Just however you defined it. But that could cause people to misunderstand you, because they like, no, she is bitter, she lonely, she not happy. That's how people will perceive, because they don't understand the process of wholeness They don't have a personal relationship with God. They need someone to validate them, to make them feel secure. And so they will misunderstand you. So let's wrap these 5 up. I've written them down here. So number 1 was you've matured. Okay, you've matured. Number 2 was God has given you provision. Number 3 was you've upgraded yourself. You graduated from college, you took a course, you basically invested in yourself. You went to a seminar, you've done something, you created a new business, you invested in yourself. Number 4, you're operating from self-love. You love yourself. Your cup is running over. Okay. And number 5, you spend time alone, or you may be single and you're happy and you're glowing and growing, and people just may not understand you. Okay. So ultimately, the whole purpose of this message and what I want you to walk away with is understand that when you are leveling up, okay, you will be understood. But don't let that deter you. Don't let that cause you to abort mission. No, just understand that this is normal when you are elevating, okay? You will be misunderstood. Everybody's not going to understand you. Everybody's not going to agree with you. You're going to shed some dead weight. But at the end of the day, you're going to have peace because God is giving you provision. Thanks for tuning in to A Voice of Influence. It is your girl, Tikeysh T. Lemons. And I will see you next week. Peace.